CC. Wait a minute. Ben aquí. C'est la vie.
I tell the whole truth from A to Z.
Hello. Crackers.
What is good? It is your boy, J-Rod. We got to make sure we're recording because, man, God, have we got a lot to talk about, bro. I recorded this video last night right after the game happened. I jumped right into it and started recording a video. Well, actually, I thought I was recording a video, talking for like 20 minutes. Good energy, good everything. Your boy was, we'll just say I was celebrating. We'll say that to say the least. But I didn't click the recording button. So clearly your boy was not at the 100%, brain rate, which isn't saying too much. But yeah, man, the Boston Celtics, we have made it to the NBA Finals. It's crazy, man. It seems like it's been so long since we made the finals. It's good to see, players like Marcus Smart finally get a finals appearance. A guy who's been around this team from, before the Isaiah Thomas, roster and all that stuff. Seems like we've gone so close so many years. I think we had three conference finals appearances in the last 5 years, and we lost 3 of those. So about time we finally made it through, and we will be facing the Golden State Warriors in the NBA Finals. Before we get into that matchup, I do want to go over Game 7 of the Celtics against Miami Heat. It was a good game. I really didn't want it to be a blowout, even as a Celtics fan, although I wanted us to win this game. I didn't want us to just jump out the gate, up by 30 and it stays like that the whole game. Although for a majority of the game, it seemed like we had the upper hand, up by, 10 points for a good amount of that whole game, really up until the end of the last 2 or 3 minutes. The Miami Heat, I think they only led at 1 point throughout the whole game, and they were up by 1 or 2. I could be wrong. But yeah, throughout the full 3 quarters, we were pretty much up by 10 to 15 the whole game, and then those last 2 minutes, the Miami Heat bring it to just 2 points. And it was one of those games where, even though we were up by 10 for a lot of the times, I knew it was going to be close throughout the whole way. I just didn't see us, turning that 10 into a 20-point lead or something like that, just because anytime it seemed like we had a chance to do that, something else would come up, whether it was a ref making a and the refs made bad calls for both sides, so I'm not just saying that. Whether it's the ref making shitty calls, or we go on some possessions where we're not scoring, or Jimmy Butler and Bam just go out there and get an easy 2 to keep them in the game. A lot of different things. And, there was a lot of ways that Miami really could have took this game away. If Jimmy Butler hit that 3-point attempt when they were down by 2 with 20 seconds left in the game, that could have changed the whole momentum of things. You look at their free throws, they shot 16 for 24. I mean, if they make even just 2 or 4 more of those free throws, I mean, it could have been a different game. At one point, they were 10 from 18 from the free throw line, and then they started hitting more of them. But, the Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler and Bam were really the only reason that the Miami Heat stayed in this game. I think Bam had 10 or 12 points in the first half. And I remember looking at the box score at the end of the first half. I'm like, oh, Bam's got to have 20. 10 points for Bam feels like 20 or 30. I don't know why, because it seems like there are rare occasions. But when he does, it's just he seems like he's a god. I don't know. It was weird. So he had 25, but he definitely had a big impact out there. In the second half, he was still good, but they didn't look to Bam as much in the second half because they were down by so much. That's when they needed guys like Max Strus, Vio to start taking some 3-point attempts. Actually, Vio didn't take any. Oh, no, he did. Okay, 7. I was looking at the free throws. But, yeah, they were heavily reliant on, those mid-away faders from Bam Adebayo. Seems like he spams that. Bam's, offensive bag, I feel like, can be so limited at times. Bam Adebayo has the potential to be such a good offensive center, but his bag just, he does that same thing where he'll be in the post, he'll turn around, and then just do like a fadeaway from the middle part. I'm probably explaining that terrible, but you know what I mean. He does that same fucking move, and sometimes it looks beautiful when it goes in, but then it's also like they're technically like not really good shot attempts. I mean, he's not taking it to the rack at all against these guys. And then Jimmy Butler was great. I know there's some people judging that 3-point shot that he took at the end of the game. If anything, I thought that was falling. I'm gonna keep it real. As soon as he shot that, it looked like he had so much confidence. I thought that was in for sure, and we were going to be down by 1. You know, they had the momentum. I think they were on a 10-0 run. 11-0. It was either 10-0 or 11-0 run the last 3 minutes. And I like that shot. I think it's a good shot. It was actually, you know, even though it's an off-dribble shot, it was pretty open, to say the least. You know, Al Horford had an okay contest on it, but wasn't anything crazy. I think it was a good look for him. And also the Miami Heat's half-court offense hasn't been very good, so let's say he slows it down and then looks to get a 2. By that point, you only got 8 to 10 seconds left on the clock, and your half-court offense has been pretty garbage. I think that's a good shot by Jimmy Butler. It just didn't fall. For the Boston Celtics, I mean, good games from Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Nothing spectacular from them, but, you know, they did what they had to do. Jason Tatum was getting double-teamed a lot this game, but he was making some really good playmaking plays. I remember this one where Marcus Smart comes in to set a screen for him at the top of the 3, and Jason Tatum goes up as if he's shooting a shot, and just right before the release, he passes that into Marcus Smart, who's wide open, gets an easy floater, and that's an easy 2 points. You know what I'm saying? So Jason Tatum did a really good job of facilitating. It said 6 assists. It feels like he had a lot more. He also had a lot of hockey assists, so he would make that pass after getting double-teamed, and then that guy would make the other pass that led to the point. So Jason Tatum did really good when it came to the playmaking aspect. Jaylen Brown had a good game as well. Couple questionable takes near the end of the game. Couple rough turnovers. I mean, some of those turnovers were just from charges because Kyle Lowry. There was one point where I swear there's 3 or 4 possessions in a row where Kyle Lowry would just run around the court on defense doing this. Just spamming up those fucking charge attempts. And hey, the refs called them. The refs were not afraid to call those charge attempts. I mean, Marcus Smart was spamming them too. So as soon as Marcus Smart saw Kyle Lowry out there doing that, he's like, oh, I got to do the same shit, bro. I can't have this guy prove that he's a better hustler than me, you know. Marcus Smart, you know, as a Celtics fan, as much as I love Marcus Smart, you never want to see him have the most shot attempts on your team unless if he's red hot. But, I mean, after Jason Tatum getting double-teamed, a lot of these looks were towards the second half, and they weren't necessarily falling. But it was okay because he did hit the shots that were needed. That was the big thing about us, is like, we didn't necessarily shoot great as a team, but we made the shots when we needed to. Derek White, 3 for 8, 2 for 3. He had a really strong first half, and a lot of those shots that he missed from being 3 for 8 was when the shot clock was coming down, and there was a few seconds left, and he just had to get a shot off. So Derek White had a good game. Grant Williams did his thing. And yeah, Miami Heat, I forgot to mention this too. They tried Tyler Hero. He was in for 5-6 minutes and just did not look ready at all. And as soon as the Boston Celtics saw Tyler Hero go in, I'm sure Ime Udoka was like, attack Tyler Hero. Take this motherfucker on every possession. That's exactly what they did. And Tyler Hero was getting absolutely burnt defensively. And he was just like, all right, we got to take him out. He did have a block, though, which is weird. I do not remember a Tyler Hero block, but he had one. So shout out Tyler Hero. And if I'm Miami, you got to give Jimmy Butler more help this offseason, you know? Because you can't rely on Kyle Lowry offensively like you used to. I mean, Kyle Lowry, I know he was coming back from an injury, so that's definitely a part of it. But yeah, you just got to get some more offensive firepower. I know Tyler Hero, you're expecting him to be better next season. VO, I don't know if you're going to get VO back or not, but it would be big if they did. They need some options offensively. So we'll have to see what they do. I think even a guy just like as simple as a Jeremy Grant would be so big for this team. I think Jeremy Grant would love to play on a team like Miami Heat where he's on a championship contending team and he could still be one of their top scoring options. So I think Jeremy Grant is a guy that Miami Heat should shoot for. And I do think they got trading assets. You know, you could throw in Gabe Vincent, who had a pretty good year, or a Max Strus or some of the. Actually, Max Strus is kind of nice. I'd keep him around. But, yeah, I don't know. I'd look around for some of that stuff. Also, bro, one thing I want to say about Jason Tatum. There was this one shot where there was 2.8 seconds left on the shot clock late in the fourth quarter. Miami Heat had some good momentum and we needed a bucket. It was the filthiest, most beautiful, most Kobe-looking bucket I have ever seen while rocking the Kobe armband. It was, he got the pass out of bounds. He faked one way, spun out as he was catching the ball, went up, and it was the cleanest splash ever. That thing went. That was a terrible sound, but it went. Boing. I can't do the sound effects. It went. It was just like the clean. It looked like it didn't even touch the net, dude. It just went right fucking down, dude. It was just. Oh my god! If you guys know what I'm talking about, that bucket was just. I was in awe, man. Then here we are, man. We got the Boston Celtics against the Warriors, so they do advance. And really, like I said before, this game really could have gone either way. You know, if Miami Heat just did a couple of things better, like hit the free throws that they needed to hit, yeah, I mean, yeah, it definitely could have been Miami's game. But it isn't, and we move on, and we are facing the Warriors. So this is going to be an interesting finals matchup, man. I think... But before I give a prediction, I'll break it down a little bit. I mean, the Warriors, they do have more overall talent on the roster. I will say that. They got more guys that could go out there and get you 20-plus points if they really need to. And Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Klay Thompson, Jordan Poole. You know, they got more go-to scoring options, I'd say. Even though a lot of our bench players have been really good at coming off the bench and getting buckets. We saw Grant have some big games. We've seen Al Horford. I know he's not a bench player, but I'm just saying the guys other than Tatum and Brown. We've seen Al Horford come out and have, you know, that 30, was that 30 or 40 bomb, something like that, against the Milwaukee Bucks. So we've seen some big games. From these other guys, which is what they're going to need offensively, because I am a little bit worried about this about this Boston Celtics team offensively to try and keep up with the Warriors' three-pointers. Now, when it comes to the defensive matchup against the Warriors, this is going to be an offense that the Boston Celtics haven't seen in the playoffs yet. You know, the teams that they played in the playoffs from an offensive standpoint, I don't think they were, as a team, structured as well as the Warriors. I mean, obviously, you went against Giannis, which is very impressive to be able to beat him in 7. You went against a very hot Jimmy Butler. I know he got injured in Game 5 and 6, but you still went against Jimmy Butler, who is one of the best forwards to play against in the playoffs. And you swept Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Say what you want about how they played. Sweeping them is huge. But none of them played like the Warriors do offensively. The Warriors, there's off-ball movement. You got cuts from Andrew Wiggins that are unexpected and you don't see happening. You know, 1 second you think, you know, Steph Curry's going to dribble around, hit a 3, and then you see someone send an off-ball screen. Andrew Wiggins is gone, and he's got that wide-open lane, which Andrew Wiggins has been phenomenal in with getting those cuts to the basket. And then obviously you got to watch for guys like Steph Curry, Klay, and Jordan Poole who could just light it up from 3. So it's a lot to look out here for the Boston Celtics defense. If there's any defense that I think that could prevent this Warriors offense from going crazy, it would be the Boston Celtics defense. So I will say that, but I do think this is going to be the biggest challenge that they face. When it comes up to the matchup game, I think we're probably one of the best, if not the best team in the NBA that matches up with the Golden State Warriors. They're going to have their starting lineup probably of Curry, Klay, Wiggins, Draymond, and Looney. We got Al Horford and Rob Williams at the 4 and the 5, which offsets that pretty well. If the Warriors want to go to their death offensive lineup and, you know, put Draymond at the 5, then bang, bang, all we got to do is throw in Grant or Derek White and then move either Al Horford or Rob Williams to the 5. So matchup-wise, we're really good. We also got a lot of length. We got a lot of guys that could block the passing lane, which you really need against this Warriors team. Because the one thing I will say is the games that we do win, I think it's going to be when the Golden State Warriors turn the ball over like 15 or 20 times. Because although the Warriors' offense is so great at creating open looks and off-ball movement, a lot of it is designed on like where you predict a player to be. Like Draymond Green will have the ball up the top. He's passing to the spot that he expects that player to be in off the off-ball screen. And we have such a good job of guys like Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum who anticipate those passes. And Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, they have that length to intercept the passes. And in that case, I think that's going to be the games where we're most successful, is when we're able to read those passes. But we got to read them, because if we don't, then there's going to be a lot of cuts to the basket from Andrew Wiggins, a lot of open looks from 3, and we're going to start getting cooked. Because the last thing you want is this Warriors offense to start heating up and get consecutive buckets, because then you're almost in a point where it's like, oh, we can't even come back, because you got Steph Curry now dropping threes every second after they get up 10. So, yeah. So just a short little preview there. I do want to make a prediction, though. I have to go with the Boston Celtics. I just have to. I'm sorry, man. I have to. And I'm going to go with the Celtics in another 7-game series. You know, I'm worried a little bit about this Warriors experience. And after all my years of watching Steph Curry, I've always been like, man, that team's going to have... Man, that must suck, you know, being the other team, watching Steph Curry just do this to your team, absolutely just, like, annihilate with three-pointers and stuff like that. But now I am actually going to become a victim of Steph Curry abuse, and it feels weird. And although Steph hasn't been as crazy in the postseason as he's been in the past seasons, I know he's going to have at least 1 or 2 games where he just comes out here and says, this is my night. And yeah, I am for once in my life actually terrified to face Steph Curry, because it's going to happen at the biggest stage. How much are tickets? How much are tickets? Little YouTube content at the game? Little YouTube content at the game? What y'all thinking? Okay, never mind. We'll be watching it from the TV. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed. Turn on those post notifications so you do not miss the playoff updates, as I will be updating you guys with this NBA Finals series. And subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed. I had over 90% of people watch my last Dallas Mavericks video who were not subscribed, liked the video, and then didn't subscribe. If you're watching these vids on the regular, why not, man? Why not? Hit your boy up with a subscription. Anyways, peace out, man. Love y'all. And enjoy the NBA Finals. Peace.